Is YouTube actually trying to put its own creators out of business? Lately, the demonetization rumors are everywhere. And let's be honest, some of the stories we're hearing from creators do leave me scratching my head. It's enough to make you wonder if there is some kind of weird stuff happening on purpose behind the scenes. Ultimately, who knows? Trying to find an answer to that is like trying to decode the algorithm. The bottom line is you can't. And even if you do, it wouldn't matter because 10 minutes later, the algorithm would change. But whenever you see a video from one creator or another saying that his or her channel is being demonetized, I see lots and lots of comments from viewers and other creators in the comment section saying things like YouTube doesn't care or YouTube just wants to keep all the ad revenue to itself. I suppose that's just expected rhetoric, right? I mean, YouTube is a big business and part of a massive conglomerate. It has shareholders, many of whom most people automatically assume are just a bunch of rich people. And let's face it, there are a lot of people out there who either downright dislike any big business or seriously distrust them. It's those damn greedy rich people forever hell-bent on sucking the life out of the little guy and squeezing every nickel they can out of the people. And to be fair, for some businesses, that might be the case, although I wouldn't lump them all together. But it's those two comments that strike me the most. YouTube doesn't care, and YouTube wants to keep all the ad revenue for themselves. They strike me because they seem so counterintuitive to the entire means of how YouTube makes its money. To me, that just doesn't make sense. Ultimately, the creators are YouTube, and as such, without them, YouTube doesn't get the content it needs to generate views. And if they don't get content that generates views, there's nothing to put ads on. Bear in mind one other important piece of data. It's estimated that out of 115 million total channels on YouTube, and granted, not all those channels are created to post content. Many people have channels and only use them to interact with actual creators and leave comments, like, share, and subscribe, and that sort of thing. Only 4 to 5% of all YouTube channels are actually monetized. Now consider that there are roughly between 1.5 million and 3 million channels who produce content and have over 1,000 subscribers, but who don't meet the watch time hours requirement. So one could assume those channels provide a lot of content that YouTube doesn't have to pay for, but certainly can still show ads on. That's presumably a lot of content and a lot of potential revenue that makes a serious contribution to YouTube's bottom lines. But therein it also begs the question, why do these creators produce content even if they aren't in the partner program? Well, because the possibility still exists that they could one day achieve the watch time hours and start getting paid something for their content. Think about that for a second. That's a massive pool of talent working for free. Why would YouTube want to kill that drive? If YouTube's content creators with big or small followings get demonetized, they don't just quietly sink into the ether. They get behind their cameras and they let you know. And hundreds of thousands of people and sometimes millions of people see those videos. And many of those people who see them are also creators, either monetized but small and trying to grow, or hopeful they will have a chance to one day get monetized. If the videos creators make are the product and YouTube tries to financially screw them over, this would to me seem rather bad for business. Maybe in the short term it helps YouTube stretch its bottom lines to keep shareholders happy. But longer term, if that's what they were actually doing, they'd essentially be putting themselves out of business. Sure, maybe YouTube could survive by letting in big networks or only catering to huge YouTubers with very large followings, but even that doesn't seem to have much of an end game. Most people flock to YouTube because they're interested in seeing things they might not be able to see anywhere else. The entire concept of YouTube was built on the idea that you'd open the gates and remove the gatekeepers from the equation, and everyone would have a shot at getting noticed. And just like anywhere else, real talent would shine above others and not only grow their followings, but provide a valuable source of revenue for the entire platform. This isn't just a tech problem, it's a classic economic one. It reminds me of what Margaret Thatcher said about socialism. Eventually, you run out of other people's money. Now, that may be a weird thing to bring into a discussion such as this one, but the problem with YouTube weeding out certain of its creators is that eventually you run out of creators you can take to the bank at all. In order for YouTube to remain relevant and even viable, it requires a constant pool of new talent that not only keeps the platform fresh and new, but has that added element of a payoff if you succeed as a creator to get that fresh and new talent creating content that one day might grow into something big. I do know there are a lot of channels facing demonetization, although when I have no data to back this up, I do think it might be quite a bit overblown. But even if the number is relatively small in the grander scheme, it's still scaring a lot of people. Not just monetized creators, but those who are still on their journeys trying to get there. And again, there are a number of reasons people are facing this dilemma, most that are known, such as reused content, copyright questions, AI slop, and yet other stuff that we're kind of left to guess at. But I'm hard pressed to believe that it's because YouTube doesn't care or that they're trying to rob creators of their paydays. Again, it just seems counterintuitive to the platform's business model and how the platform makes its money. I could be wrong. Maybe YouTube is playing dirty behind the scenes, but based on everything I've presented here, what would the end game be? And what purpose would this serve? If YouTube alienates their creators and take creators away from viewers who are here to watch them, essentially they're not only pissing off the people who provide the content, they're pissing off the people who want to watch it. I'm just not sure that makes a lot of sense to me, even if we're seeing some scary things happening on the platform. What say you? I'd love to know what you're thinking.